Fourth yom. Alright, yeah, trying to just keep it simple. Yo, says we brought the Gloom back. Check it out. Look at that. Yup. This side, that's the east, or sorry, forgive me, yeah. That's the Atlantic side right there. It's got a nice little sundown looking vibe that's being casted from the actual sundown side. That's the actual west coast, west Pacific side where the ocean's at. And it's kind of cool that somehow, it got the sun down looking thing on this side. When that's not the side the sun's going down. That is the, and on the phone it probably looks all backwards, but that's the the Atlantic side, and that's the west side, the Pacific. And look, we brought the Gloom back. Look how cool we did that. You ever see those little projections? You can see the little Malakim Shamaim twinkling in the midst of it. Those are just like white noise little distortions. Those are Malakim Shamaim working like busy ants, like busy bees. That came and boom, busted out the gloom. This entire side is gloom, and you can't see it because the way how the phone is with the way. And is that where the sun is? No, sun's further. Sun's way probably behind that building, but it's just so dark. The gloom came out so dark, it just completely overcasted it. Actually, it's probably closer to going down, like around that area, but nonetheless, look how we did that. Look at that. What? Look at that. We did that. Brock Yahuwah. I don't know, the sun that might be the sun. No, it ain't the sun, I ain't gonna lie. Sun's further down, probably around there, but there's no sign of it. So that's kind of like a cool recompense Yahuwah did. Like he made my yawn, man, because I messed up. Trial and error. Not that I messed up, but trial and error, learning, experimenting. I said earlier, I had a feeling the sun would be out today because yesterday I was doing some certain processes. I was trying some new coding just to kind of see if it's consistent, and it is. It's proven. I'm not gonna test it no more. And basically, I don't know if you remember what I said, that I said it was making me feel like was giving me 10 times more power to do it. Keep it gloomy and whatnot, have more control of the weather. Was being celibate, or just not being in a state of not having blown the lower nostrils, not having cleared my lower sinuses, and forgot the other word I used. That's what I'm trying to remember what I used earlier. But nonetheless, you get what I'm saying. So yesterday, I did. Yesterday, I blew it. Yesterday, I blew the lower nostrils, and I cleared my sinuses because I was getting agitated. I was getting a little frustrated. I played with it.
On my bucket list.
I teased it too much, I was just messing with it too much, and yeah, I blew it. I stimulated myself, and it stays in you. One thing I learned is, like, you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. You're gonna feel the heat. So I was playing with fire, I was like, for a while I was holding my ground, like I was talking about, don't give anything any energy, like don't even look at anything until it's exactly what you want. And it's funny because and now it's coming all out. I made sure to get somewhere where it was a little quiet, but it just, the word, wherever the word is, it's gonna come near. But that's cool. That's a great sign of, even Malakim of the Shamaim, and probably with me too, just enduring with me, just to be a sign for me, like to make my words true, like the Ruach backing me up. And then, like, that's probably a Malak, to be honest, Malak of Shamaim, because they get close, they stay near like that. Like the dogs always stop near and they kind of hang out where I'm at, like you saw in the earlier video. And so I had that thought earlier that man, can you imagine if some of these are like Malakim the Shaman, like maybe even the Ruach of my bride company, my future wives in these entities, and I'm over here like kind of like trying to cast them down or dog them or something like that. Because I don't know who's a Malak, really like a Malak Yahuwah, like they can either be like, I feel like they're projecting themselves like an obvious stumbling block, like bending over, boop, doing like all the yoga stuff, like they'll kind of be doing something that kind of has the fine print, like the signature of something from the enemy, like the yoga stretching. Then I tend to deem those like from the enemy, especially if they're all, voluptuous, bang booty out and everything in your face, and they're really trying to get you to mess up, like really trying to, like, it seems like it's a stumbling block, like on purpose. Then yeah, I feel like those are from the enemy, and I don't look at those. But then you get the ones that are like, they're modest. I mean, they're still wearing tight clothing, like the ones you just saw. Great examples, like the ones you've been seeing me record that are clothed, like that come near, like you saw earlier, the one from earlier that was right behind my head. They seem pretty modestly dressed, but still leggings, and still it's on you. Like at the end of the yom, like you saw the ones jogging now, they had tight clothing on and nice figures, and it's like they could be, I feel like they could be Malakim of the Shamayim. Don't expect them to be like granny panties, like 100% like grannies covered up and like long dresses and wearing granny clothes. Like that's gonna be too obvious in a way, and even got witches that dress up like that. So it's all duality, it's all mixed up. Most witches that I've seen dress up like grannies. They dress up all modest, covered up, like with a hat. They always have some kind of hat because that's a witch signature. And that's crazy. I don't know. I didn't even see that coming. Speaking of, I don't know if that's a joke or what, but reality projects humor sometimes. They get that energy. But that could have been it. That was a straight up moment. Didn't even expect that. I don't have eyes behind me. I just said that and looked over, and there's a hat. Like, come on. And that didn't make me look like I'm saying something bad about somebody. But that's kind of like how on point they can be. And I've seen people like that can be witches, modestly dressed with hats, those kind of hats. Boom, males and malak just backing me up, vouching for me, like they're projecting support, like on point, like to witness me, like the cars honking and all that. But those can be witches. But right now, maybe they're role playing it out for me. I don't know. But I have, because the vibes sometimes, like when they try to get all in your business, that's when you know it's really a witch. They try to get you in agreements, contract, give you your energy, get us some kind of emotional attachment, give you seductive eyes or some kind of thing. But the Malakim of the Shamayim, sometimes everything's all mixed. They'll come at you straight up, like with leggings, like they'll be wearing the tight clothing and everything, like the jogger outfit that the women wear, and they might even be, rocking a nice figured body. It is what it is. That's Yahuwah's esteem. He made it that way. He made it perfectly, and that doesn't make it sinful, wrong, transgression. That's not their fault. The fault lies with the eye of the beholder. How you see it. If you have that maturity to like not even trip on that, like that's leveling up, when you get on that level. But nonetheless, thing about ravisher mode is like it has a little gray thing with it where it's like the intent is like, we're gonna bring this darkness and gloom. Y'all want that sunny day. It's gonna be darkness and gloom until you give me what Yahuwah put in me to desire, and for the recompense, and it's for the replenishing of our nation is really what it is. Having multiple children, like having a nation of children, and that takes multiple wives, concubines, all that. And so then you just kind of like look at the ideal way that can play out, and it's there in the scriptures, it's coded in the people, it's coded in the dynamic of reality, it comes with the territory. So then you start to desire And that's where it's like you're like, okay, you know. And if Yahuwah didn't want it to be so, he wouldn't do the gloom for me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know it's real, because one might wonder, like, how do we know, like, Yahuwah's for, like, yeah, you got power of gloom, but like, what's to say that, like, that's just Yahuwah giving you the desire of his lob, of your lob, because you want it that way, but then you're just adding to it about the women thing. And it's like, no, because he wouldn't have done one without the other. Like, he wouldn't have, it would have canceled each other out. He wouldn't give me the gloom because it was under the stipulation, like, well, I'm bringing the gloom and darkness until you give me your wives, give me some wives or women to have my, raise up my nation, And Yahuwah would be like, yeah, we're not, if that was not the case, if Yahuwah wasn't on that same page, if we weren't wanting that, he would say, nah, then you know what, no gloom, because I'm not supporting that agenda, I'm not supporting that paradigm, that narrative, so we're not going to give you any gloom. That's how Yahuwah would address that, so it's going to be sunny for them, because Yahuwah's no respecter of people. He can be his own bond, but if he's like being like spoiled and evil and all that, then he's just going to show favor to who he wants to show favor to. But this spoil and evil is in a righteous context. This is, unfortunately for us, this is part of just the recompense, rendering right verdict, what was done to our ancestors to repay them for what they've done to us. And that's Yahuwah's dynamic. It's not my desire. It's what I see. Yahuwah, according to the word, this is like, you'd be wanting for us to do this and this to happen to our oppressors, children who are among us, our enemies, who don't subscribe to the word. If you're about the word, you're part of us. You become Yasharal. You subscribe to one of the tribes,
But she sat on this for like.
But if you're not trying to be saved, or people say, I'm saved, I believe in JC. Well, we're not talking about the law done away with, pagan version, counterfeit JC. We're talking about the real Yahusha, the real Messiah. Did not do away with the Torah. We're not going to go down that, because we should know that by now. So Sabbath is still on the 7th Yom. We still keep the feast. And only now you got to keep the, you also got to be a part of the nation. Got to consider yourself Yasharal. I'm so grown now. I understand what his program was. He came and got close and got my attention talking, but then started tying the shoe just now by the tree. I'm telling the people, stop here around here. And then, like, I just like, nah, there was a trigger, but I dodged the trigger. And normally that trigger would get me to want to spew the whole doctrine, the entire doctrine, to just start from the beginning, because someone's listening ears, and law's done away with. Matthew 5:17, Yahushua said, I did not come to do it, Torah and Nabim, not to go through it, all of it, because somebody was listening, and that's what he was supposed to initiate. But I'm like, nah, you should know that by now, and you should get on this point. And at this point, once you get on this bandwagon, you're not just keeping the commandments and the feasts, but you consider yourself part of the nation of Yasharal. So regardless of your race, if you're white, even children of the oppressors, but you do like Ruth did, or like Rahab, right? Rahab is probably a better example there. She was part of the nation that was about to get destroyed, but she chose to side with the Yasharim, with the Israelites that were spying in the land. That's a malak. The Shamaim, she's so cool. She's so sweet. Can you give me a witness? She's too far that she can't hear me, but if you can give me a witness to show them. Yeah, she kind of looked up, because that's when I passed by talking about the Rahab. She looked over, like, shaking her head, like, yup. And it's crazy. Yeah, that's probably the enemy, because he's trying to spit me to the ground like that. Like, they do things like that. So there's a lot of little spiritual warfare manifesting like that constantly. But nonetheless, if you're a white dude, children related, bloodline, whatever, to the oppressors of any kind of people, indigenous, Native American, Africans, indigenous of the Americas, whatever it is, and you're part of an elite family on top, where there's wealth for days passed down, handed over, that was stolen and plundered, and you got privileges, white privileges. You got connections. You're connected on top because of past associations. You're just in the circle. Even then, like I said, that's a Rahab position, and it's not just for women, but for men. But predominantly women play a big role in it. Rahab was part of that nation that was about to get destroyed by Yasharal, but she believed and trusted that was the case. So she subscribed to Yasharal. She let the spies spy in the land, and she led them down. She brought them in, hid them, and she could have had them executed. When they were hiding, when they came to look for them, she could have said, they're hidden in my bundles of wheat, stashed under on the roof or whatever. And they could have just killed them right then and there, and it would have been over. But she already knew, they're still going to come, and they're going to win. They're going to take it over. So she took care of them. So that's how it's working now. I think I do got a lot of Rahabs already doing stuff like that for me. I'm, men and women from both sides of the gender. There's men, women, different groups. Even I feel like even sometimes the government group, what do you call it, the police, the authorities are siding with me. They're part of it. They see me, they know me, they kind of dodge me, they get out of my way to not make me feel alert or threatened. They just want to give me peace of mind. Oh, I'm almost made me cry. I'm trying to hold back the tear, because they do that lately. Sometimes when I'm very on point with my meditation Yahuwah, it's there's a presence, and they're already fed in the Ruach. They got Ahava, Shalom, and Samacha. They got a little bit of the measure, but they can't have everything because they still want their sunshine. They want the cake and eat it. But nonetheless, it's enough to where it's noticeable out here. And so, I'll see them, and they'll kind of look at me, but they'll look away, look down, and look at the stuff, and then they'll drive off and turn the other way. They'll make it a point, it seems sometimes, to go the other way. And I know that's because intuitively they want to keep me at rest. They don't want me to feel alarmed or threatened in any kind of way. So I think that's very nice of them to do that. Malak. Malaki. She was smiling over here earlier, just right now. Because I recognized her. I can feel her Malak vibe. So we're amongst Malakim of the Shamaim. And we brought the Gloom back. We lost it. When I got on the phone, you saw how quick my phone kept cutting off. Because that was Yahuwah let me know, bro, we're at the threshold of make it or break arm wrestling. And that moment was the tipping scale of the day, the yom that ruined it. What's up, buddy? They got dogs saying what's up, praise Yah. Give a little energy, what's up? What's up, buddy? Look at that greyhound. How you doing? Yeah, I'm a just get a little bit, because we already got the Gloom anyway, so I ain't tripping on it. I can feel the energy. I got enough to give out and show, and I don't give out as much emotion as I used to. Can you believe when every time I interact with people, I was completely giving my entire love away every time with new people? Normally those kind of moments, I'd be hey, how you doing? I'm I trust you with my life. That's how much love I have for people. And it's crazy, right? That's how much love I have. That's how much love Yahuwah put in me. And I thought everybody was wired that way. It took me up until this moment in time, this year, to realize that that's not the case. Having gone through some past experiences recently, I learned that, that not everybody is wired that way. I just thought that very surprising that it took me 36 years. Chazakah, chapter 36, that's the regathering of Yasharal. It took me 36 years to figure out that people are really not wired to just naturally have a tendency to just love everybody, love each other, even to some measure. Because I came from the far spectrum. I was like I said, I looked at you. If I saw you, I would look at them. I don't know who they are. and I would already trust them with my life because they're right there, because they exist. Because we're all made in the image of Yahuwah. So I'm like, oh, I love them. I don't know who they are, but I can go up there and give them a hug and talk to them about anything. I tell them my business, tell them my hi, and then like pour out and cry to them right now. If I wanted to tap back into that, that's how it was wired, and that's where it was wrong, only according to this world's paradigm, because there's a lot of wickedness in the world. Like even people don't have that law. It would change some people, but like the scriptures say in Abadi and Abarim, whom the world was not worthy of. It says that we're clad and beaten and this and that, but like we're those like who are special in Yahuwah's eyes, whom the world was not worthy of. Like they're not even worthy of us, because we're just too much for them. And it was a double-edged sword. Like yeah, sometimes they benefited from our energy, but it's like they weren't really. It was like that thing about I can teach you how to fish. I can catch fish for you, or I can teach you how to fish. It's all over, crazy, yeah. So they say I can teach you. I can catch fish for you, or I can teach you how to fish. And now what I was doing was catching fish for people. Like when I was giving them my energy, love, ahaba, I was just doing the work for them. So I was just feeding them and they were filled. But then when it was like, once they're done, they're like, I'm hungry, give me more. And they would like get upset with me about it. And so it was never enough love. It was never enough ahaba. And then it started breaking me, making me, to the point where I started experiencing, understanding what bitterness was for the first time. And I didn't like it. So I'd rather fight my way out and live in the streets than to succumb to being bitter and negative and feeling ugly about people. I'd rather never feel ugly about people. And that's why the world is not worthy of us. And that's why the world in general, it's not, we're better than, Yahuwah has some better plan for us for that. That's what eternal Chai is all about, eternal Shamayim and Arats. And where our value can be fully complemented by new Shamayim, new earth, a world where everybody's like that. The bird, he's like, he got excited. He got all excited. That's the only ones I really vibe with, are like the animals and the birds and stuff. They're always singing like to the same flow, the same beat, like the frequency, what I'm feeling, my high, like what I'm about to say, and I'm getting excited about saying it. They're like, it's like they're like connected to that. That's what they're connected to. So that's cool. And if they are, then I believe even people at a subconscious level, that's why they all come near me when I get on the phone. They just, something draws them. They want that. They can feel positive vibe. It's not about feeling positive. It's just like this security, like secure when you're like in a warm, safe home and everything's going to be all right. I think that's what people feel when they're around me. Despite I can be negative, I can be positive, they still feel safe around me or something. Like even though I'm like yelling at them or something, like they just like, it's funny. I can feel that sometimes. So that's why people kind of, because they know this is real. It's getting more real as we expand a little bit more every day, here a little, there a little. I didn't mean to go long. Again, just wanted to show the gloom. I meant to catch it earlier, but the cloud just minutes ago was already starting to overcast that side before that side got dark. So it's spreading back. Yeah, when I got on the phone earlier, that was the threshold of that was the threshold moment. That was the make or break moment that tipped the scale where we lost the yom, where it was like, what are you doing? Like, the ambulance got me triggered because like all this stuff, like people popping out, like watching me, like you saw the ladies were just standing there. They just showed up right there in that moment too. And the ambulance came when I got on the phone. So the phone, the ambulance taking my energy, the people taking my energy. It was like everything was coming at me. So I was like, man. And I think that's what tipped the scales right there. And so yeah, I got distracted again. Even now, I just kind of want to show you how lovely it is here, though. You know, it's a lot to take in, but it's like, it's almost like a paradise in a way. It's a perfect little world, but they just don't love the word of Yah. So it's like a false counterfeit thing. So then you like check them, you know. So like, it's like Yahuwah like allowed me, like the enemy like wanted to bring me out here to test me, like bring him to this perfect paradise on earth place with all these lovely, you know, pretty people that seem positive surface level, but you know, they're all atheists. They don't believe in the word. They're all into evolution and all that. I asked them, and they don't. And I'm like, what do you say you're feeling like, you know? And they're like, I'm angry. Like, even though they're all talking about, I was like, oh, I'm angry. I hate the world. I hate life. I hate this. I hate that. I'm full of wrath and rage. I'm just angry inside. So angry. I don't know why. I just hate everything. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, probably it's because you don't have the word. Like, the word is the source of eternal peace, love, and joy, you know. But hey, I want everything but that. I got to question where that's coming from. If it give you that, then would it not be worth it? You know, because pills and all that, it's just like a temporary fix. It's not a complete cure. How you doing? That's Malakim Shamayim. The other one I don't think was. But did you notice the extracurricular, the extra figures on her? And then yet the face that went with it kind of had like she was kind of like mean. Like that was like kind of like the world vibes, you know, like that enemy. But they got the body try to make you stumble, but they're gonna be kind of stoic in their own way. So, but praise Yah, you know, the night's ending. So, got to get back. But I just wanted to show you that all right. So earlier when I got on the phone, lost the day. Yahuwah, you saw how quick he kicked me off. He kicked me off. Because he's trying to help me win. He's trying to help me be successful, not messing up. So I had to go back to the house because I had to take care of some things. I was going to help somebody else out. That kind of messed me up a little bit because it's like the more I feel like I can only be there only for what it's needed. Like everything's to the measurement for what you needed. All I'm needed to be there for is to go to sleep, like to come home, shower, eat dinner, whatever, go to sleep, and then wake up early, you know, make breakfast, and leave, like get out of there as soon as I can. Because when I linger and just try to relax in there, like stay there and just like, oh, I'm gonna have a lazy day, just like take advantage of this, that's when the sun comes out, gets hot, it gets like real hot, and it gets like unfavorable, like the vibe, like I can feel it, like the ruach is a little far from me, like I feel that anxiousness, like something's missing, and that's what the people feel. They don't, but they're so used to that feeling. I can't stand it for a second. As soon as I feel like, oh, I got to get out, connect it, get in the word, and boom, I'm filled, and I stay filled for you can stay filled forever as long as you find like the routes he wants you to flow through and to the measure of how he wants you to flow in it, but nonetheless, it's according to the word, though. Like, if you do by the word, it's eternal. You know, because I think there's a counterfeit version. The world does that. And they're like, oh, we have that. You know, I got this and that. But then it always probably involves, like, and then this is my drinking night, you know, and then I do this, or, you know, this is my this time, or, you know, my yoga stretch time, or, you know, then I take my pills, you know. And, like, yeah, they probably got a little workout routines. Well, that's why I go jogging and working out, but then they're still popping pills and this and that. So it's like doing it in the way that's just not with the word, keeps you more centric. There's something I'm trying to get out that I want to say more. I don't know if it's attack because I got to be back by 5:05, but I can feel it. But look at that. That looks like a little army rushing through, coming through like ocean waves. I don't know if you see it, like rows of armies, like Shamaim army, like or like even like what do you see, like a stadium of all the great assembly, like the scriptures say, I have exalted your name in the great assembly. So it's like the great assembly. So praise Yah. Yeah, praise Yah.
Right.
The Malakim says it. The Malak says it. Yep, that's right. I guess I'm gonna let you go. What I was trying to say, I lost the day. I took the scales just from that little bit being on the phone because I was making a break. Lost it, and then I went back to the house. I didn't have time to just like rest and meditate. I ended up going back. Yesterday again, I blew the lower nostril, so I already knew that we're already in for a fight today to get the shade back if we didn't have it. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest, I blew the lower nostrils again just to kind of like, I felt like, you know, I was like, man, like, let me get it right. You know, like, sometimes you feel like once you get that one, but it's like, nah, let me get that. Let me get one or two more, like, just to really get it out for a minute. So I kind of did that, and it kind of lost the sun right after that. It was just sunny right after that, like right after the phone, after all that, and then I went back to the house, and it was still kind of, the gloom started coming back when I went through Facebook, and I started commenting on somebody's post, a sister who wrote something about like someone attacking her about her doctrine and why don't she, and like trying to debate with her about stuff, and you know, I felt moved by the ruach to reply like what that was all about. And I turned my comment into a post, so it's there anyways. I do that sometimes if I feel it's, you know, edible for everybody. If it was edible enough for everybody, you know, meaty enough, edifying for everybody. So there it is. And when I was doing that, I was in the home, but because I was being productive towards Yahuwah while I was in there, it started glooming up. Like a little bit of gloom started coming back. I was just staying repentant too, like man, forgive me, I blew my nostrils and I'm all bummed out. And I think he was taking that as an offering too, but I just try to like let it go. Also, it's like a mix of being bummed out but being chill, like whatever, and like just rolling with it, moving forward, and then just helping another sister out in the midst of it, like just giving her some info. And then with that, that's when it started to get a little gloomy again. And I had the impression to go back out to the park, but I was waiting for somebody. The reason I'm back is I was going to take somebody to another resource. Told me I'll show him another spot that gives out groceries, but he never came. So I was like, cool, you know. And so I'll go back to the park then, because it was already past the time. So I walked out, and the sun came out for a second, and then as soon as I went back out, it just started glooming little by little, like glooming, but little by little, like slowly winning it back. And then I got to the park and I started reading scriptures, and then bam, like, so the sun altogether was out for like maybe 4 hours, not a lot. It was like from like, I think that happened like around 10 in the Baka, like 9, 10 or something like that, to like 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe close to 1. Yeah, about 1 or so. That's whenever I came back out, started riding, and the gloom started slowly coming back in. So I just call that, from that the shift started coming back. But it did take till about like maybe 2:33 for it to fully like be considered gloom, like where it finally hit the sun. So you could say 5-6 hours, or yeah, about 5 hours it was sunny. So it kind of seemed like a half and half, like a what do they call that, a tie or whatever, when two people win, or I forgot the words, when they get in a fight and they both win, a draw. It was like a kind of like a draw today, but yeah, it was real. Like I got back in the word. I'm gonna just ride while I do this, and because I gotta get back. Oh, now the ambulance shows up. Just trying to get you earlier. See, that's the messing with me and me messing around too much. They know I'm gonna react that way. They probably give me those impressions because they know I'm kind of feeling uplifted, so they can project things with an impression. But because I'm too excited to stop and like hold myself, like stop and like control, like just hold back and process it, I just can impulsively do it. And that's what we gotta be mindful of not to do, because then we're throwing out all kinds of extra energy we don't need to throw out. But nonetheless, again, I'm riding my bike. What's up? Crazy, huh? Yeah, it was kind of a draw day, but I saw the math adds up. Like I said at the beach video before, I think what's making me so strong where I can bring the Gloom back like bam, like that, and it just starts to materialize in the air or right over the sun is not blowing the lower nostrils, you know. But when I did that, it made it like it took a little longer. Didn't have as much. Oh, we lost the day. It's a weakening of power. There's energy in that. You know, that's what made us lose half the day today, and the sun came out half the days because I blew the lower nostrils yesterday, but we still had what was there lingering, but they was just gonna hold it. Like when I said sometimes they put on reserve for the next day, they're gonna reserve for today. But it wasn't bad for blowing the nostrils a couple times, 2-3 times. I don't know, just not to be like that. I'm just saying, like, for math's sake. But what I'm learning though, it's about listening to your body, your convictions, listening to your hua. Like, you might be able to get away with some of those. He looks at the intention, you know. Like, again, I said, well, let me do it just once or twice more because I really want to. Since it's already out, so we already kind of on the losing side, weak into the spectrum. Let me just really clear it out so I don't have to worry about it for a while. And yeah, when I did the last one, I think that was the one that he just let me know, he checked me, considered it like, okay, now you're drawing the line overboard. Because then guess what happened? My foot started itching. I'm like, yes! Yahuwah, Yahusha. I was going to mock that song they sing, but I don't want to take any of their things. But I was like, hallelujah, you know? Because, again, I haven't had any issues with my feet breaking out with eczema or any kind of anything for a minute now, for a while, like a month. Except I think the last time when I talked about it itching, but it just, that's all it was an itch. And then this time it itched again. It was just like an itch was just coming out, like we're just like something bit my foot kind of feeling on the bottom. But then it went away, but it was enough to know coincidence, like how why all of a sudden why when it was when I blew my nostrils again for the third time or something, third, fourth, I don't know. And yeah, so it was like, yeah, that's too much. So that's when my foot got itchy. I felt the sting. I'm like, oh heck nah. Sorry, not you. Crazy, yeah. I shouldn't even say those kind of words though. Like talking with the Bengals. Shalom. Guess you're not gonna do. But anyways, yeah. And it's demonic, like it's Yahuwah, but he's basically allowing the demons to like attack you, like bite at your flesh, you know? Yep. She said it, yeah, like that's right. And manifestations, Malachi manifestations. And so, and it's like what Dawood says in one of the Psalms, one of the Tahalim. You know, he says, thousands surround me and eat my flesh. He literally says that. Oh yeah, he was talking about the spiritual warfare. I gotta make sure my car's down. This road's opened up for bikers earlier. Get off the road. Don't want to get hit. But yeah, Dawood said, thousands surround me and they eat my flesh. Man, that's not just poetic. He's talking spiritually. Like the demons will prick at your flesh. Little fairies, little cosmic, little fairy mites, little fairy flying gnats, invisible, prick at you and eat at you. Like the sentinels in the Matrix, but tiny ones. And you're like the ship. But anyways, yeah. Once I felt that, I'm like, nah. done deal, game over. Because I worked hard to get my discipline, my ruach obedience to the point where ain't no demons pricking me no more. They're not afflicting my flesh. They're not pricking at me, getting me sick, giving me eczema or any kind of thing no more. I worked hard to pay attention to what moves I've made, what thought processes, what feelings, what every little thing possible that would cause me, what I ate, all that, what I touch, what I look at, engage with, who, what, where, when, why, to the point where I finally got a discipline and managed to where I don't get pricked. I don't get itchy, I don't get eczema, I don't get nothing, I don't get sick no more. And only to find out, all I had to do was blow the lower nostrils a few times, one too many, and I did it purposely. I don't want y'all to think I lost control. Maybe I did, but I was controlling it for a minute. I'm not gonna be able to go up this hill with my phone. I gotta grab it. But I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I did lose a little control, but I was doing well for a minute. Like when I was doing my thing, I was doing it like every 2-3 days, not blowing my nostrils, except only doing it every 2-3 days. I still wasn't getting pricked. So I know there's a gray area for it. But at the same time, I can just feel it's not the most pleasing thing to Yahuwah. Like if you want a greater reward, come up higher, triumph that. Like it's like, alright, I guess, guess you're on the team, I know you're struggling, so whatever. But yeah, you can be a part of the team. But then there's like, you know what? I'm going to try to do without it. Like, yeah? Hey, man, you do that, I got something major for you. I got some rewards for that. Because I know the pain you got to endure, the struggle, and all that. So I was doing that, and I was seeing like little glimpses of the rewards for that. That's when I was saying the entire reality was bowing down because of not doing that. So it's puts you in a higher realm, stronger light, more respect and authority and all that. And it was going that way solid for 2 weeks. But then, started playing with fire and feeling that fire, the passions of it burning inside me because, I was calling it out a little bit. So then they're coming with the processions. You saw that, so you can't say it ain't true. I was like, man, I ain't looking at nothing. Oh, sorry. I was like, I ain't looking at nothing, no one. I get no energy out. So y'all come over here and lay down for me. Let me plant my seed. Let me plant my eternal righteous seed in you. And they're like, oh yeah. So then they started coming with you saw what they coming at me with. All just looking at me. You saw she's looking at me in the video. She wasn't shy. She was smiling and everything at me, all for me. And then they start coming around you when you're just laying there. I had to go to Balboa Park. You know what? Let me try somewhere different just to see what's up. And they came out there a little bit too. But it's once you look here, there a little bit, one head grows two heads and energy wise. So now you start getting a little buildup of needing to relieve because you've been kind of stimulating yourself just by looking just a little bit, just that energy, the attraction, the seductiveness of the eyes. So I can't really even look at all really, but start kind of entertaining, oh yeah, you gotta come over here. But because I kept glancing every now and then, little moments just to kind of taunt at it, but it was really pulling me in, man. And I could have held off, but I'm you know what? A part of me is let me see if I get afflicted. Let me see what changes. Let me see if we lose the sun. I literally did want to test that. Let me see if we lose it. So I did it, and then I felt it. I just felt this charge come out, power come out of me that I can feel. I wasn't connected so much with all that reality, the sky, the sun. It wasn't going to be favorable. Just can just feel it and like, oh shoot, but I just still try to just trust you out for it. But like you're fighting for it at this point. You're not just resting on it, trusting fully. And yeah, that's when the Yom rose, and it was a little sunny, a little gloomy, kind of going back forward. But then I got my phone for a little bit, and then we lost it then. But yeah, all that to say that there's power. You know, my friends, Kodashim, righteous select, the men, and semen retention. You know, there's power in holding that in. So, like, if you have to pick and choose the day you want to lose it, to give it up, if you're absolutely, because know that it's going to be an unfavorable day. You know, it's not going to be what we're doing. You know, we always trying to bring out like darkness and gloom and you know, convictions and all that. So, like, for sure, like on their days, you want to make sure you're all strong and, you know, ready to go. Like you're holding back. You know, like you're not giving it nothing. Like on their days, you know, that way they feel it. You know, and then pick, I don't know, you gotta pick certain days to, like, you know, give up that energy and I don't know how to go about that, but I'm just gonna try my best to hold off myself. You know, like for example, I definitely wouldn't want to give them a weekend. You know, so I'm gonna be strong during the weekend because that's when they want to go out and enjoy everything. But you know, we want it to be dark and gloomy and convicting. So I would like choose a day in the week, something like that, to let it out. When it's just a normal day, they wasn't nothing really that special to them, you know, kind of thing. That's how I go about that. And what else? Yeah, so it's a proven science at this point. I've been doing so great. It's been gloomy the entire time. I haven't been releasing no mucus. You know, I haven't been blowing my nostrils. I haven't been releasing mucus. All of a sudden, the one time I did, the next day it was sunny. But I still had a lot of power. Like, I learned how to focus real well. Like, all the other parts are disciplined. I'm eating right. Everything. Because all that matters, too. It takes away from you if you're not eating right. Eating GMOs and stuff. In engagements with the wrong people, like, you can talk to people, but like, can't have certain conversations, like emotional connections to those conversations. You know, can't be talking like worldly talk with the world lingo like that, in that kind of spirit of it. You know, because that's what's gonna knock you off your white horse of Yahuwah's army. You know what I mean? So once you got everything disciplined, yeah, you can make room for a little, you know, mucus release. Make it quick. Do it with, what I wanted to test too. I don't know if I should share that. Just trying to do it like naturally without using technology, you know, just like, you know, the imagination or something just there in your reality physically, you know, you can see and make it quick, you know. And so, but yeah, maybe that's why I wasn't so strong. You know, I didn't lose the entire day, just half the day with all those times I'd done it, because for the most part, they were all natural. Yeah, they're all natural. I don't think I used the internet. I don't use porn. I didn't use nothing for those. I just kind of did it all in the nature, in a sense. And so kept it as kadosh as I could, and that's it. And you know, but when I did go one more to test it, that's when I got the itchy foot, but it went away. Cleansed myself, washed myself, and the itch went away, and the sun went away. So it's a proven science. You know, you're gonna, if you continue things, like, it might not be that for you, might be other things, but anything that's not of the word of Yah, it's gonna bring on a affliction on you, you know. and it's gonna not be favorable for you. It's gonna be more favorable for the world, like especially if you're giving them energy. You know, you're just keeping the world powered up. You're not doing what Yah wants you to be doing. You're being found in the enemy and not in Him. You know, if you're truly in Him, I think right now He's really trying to bring all this kind of dark and gloom in some form of unfavorable with whatever your area would not like to that area, you know. And if it's all awesome and everything is awesome and stuff, then you're adding to that, because we're supposed to be, if you're a real one, we're supposed to be 5G, like 5G Wi-Fi towers of Yahuwah's reign, bringing on, you know, types and shadows of His pandemics, of His destruction, you know, of Ruach impressions of convictions, all that kind of thing, you know, all that kind of thing. If that's not happening in your area, because if you're the real one, that's what you're supposed to be doing, because that's happening over here with me. Wherever I go, I'm going to bring some darkness and gloom, some kind of discomfort. I'm going to be a torment. You better be tormented, because that's the two Nabim, right? It says the two witnesses torment those dwelling on the Arats, not just because of their words, because what came with them came, you know, company with signs and wonders of discomfort, of disciplining them, of afflictions, you know, chastising, of punishment, you know, to them, you know, for going away from Yahuwah, for not even coming to Yahuwah, for not even choosing Yahuwah. Don't look. And so you got to be that dread and terror. That's the word I was looking for there. Like, man, it was a terror, you know. You got to be a terror to your city, to your world, in a very light way, in a very light shining kind of way, like the light of truth and righteousness that brings terror. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. Masha was kind of a terror. You know, he was like a most humble, meek man, but he had Yahuwah's terror backing him up. He had Yahuwah in the mountain, on the top of the mount, with his voice blasting loud like a trumpet, getting louder and louder, and you know, his voice made everybody tremble. But yet Masha was right there with him, was in the midst of that. That's a perfect parabolic picture of the witnesses of the pandemics, of the conclusion Yahuwah brings, the termination, the Shabbata. You know, that's what it's supposed to be like. It's nothing but a modern day version of you being Masha, being so close with Yahuwah. You're holding the 2 tablets of stone. You got the Torah with you. You're just speaking about Torah, but yet with you is the presence of Yahuwah, and He's like the shaking of the mountain. You know, the darkness and the clouds and the thick clouds and the mist and the top burning and scorching the top of the mountain with loud voice like thunder, and the loud voice like a trumpet, you know, shofar. And that's terror. That's terrorizing to the world, to the Yashralim even back then. But that's parabolic of like, we're not like Masha, and he not backs us up in those ways. We're saying, hey, come back to the Torah. Like, if you don't keep His commandments, you shall surely die. And Yahuwah is just thundering around you with His clouds, and that's all this is, you know. But if you're all like, oh, hi, what's your name? Oh, I like those shoes, you know. Oh, did you know his name's Yah? Then that ain't gonna work. You gotta be a little bit more dreadful, a little more terror, a little more, you know, Masha, you know. Straight up. I had somebody, I'm in a grocery store. You gotta be a little bold and, what's the word? Unrepenting about it. Unapologetic, you know. The word just escaped me. Shalom, how you doing? I had somebody come up to me earlier. One was yesterday or something. I'm not sure far. I forgot it today. I usually have it on me all the time. And it was a gay dude, you know. Cause I'm in that neighborhood. I live here right now currently. And so I'm making this public. And so this gay dude was like, can you imagine doing this in a grocery store? You gotta do this. He asked me, what's that in your backpack? And I was like, oh, it's a shofar, it's a ram's horn. And he was obviously, with the flamboyant stuff. And, he was like, oh, I thought it was one of those, like, things, like, with the wooden design, like, stuff that people have that looks all cool, mystical, and ancient, and, like, the other type of instruments people, like, probably smoke out of. I don't know, that people that are into, like, Rasta or weird, like, chakra and stones and hippie stuff. He was just thought he saw that, and then he mistook me for a certain type, and that's probably why he got me here. I get mistaken, I guess, for that. And yeah.
But you know what? They're not gonna do.
Malakim right there. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just tell you it's that popping off like that with that. But I'm gonna just say it's Malakim getting my back, because they do it right on time for the naysayers. They can't just say that, but it's not everybody. This is like that neighborhood where everybody who is that wants to come and live, so they can all be that one mind, And so anyways, dude asked me about my horn, my shofar, and obviously he was like that, older gentleman. And so I was like, oh, it's a shofar, it's a kudu. He asked me what animal is it from, like an African kudu. And he's like, oh, yeah, what's that for? And I'm not going to mimic that, because that's a mimic. It's like, you mimic the spirit, you're going to put it on you, it's going to stick on you, it's going to try to get in you. So I told him, I said, it's a kudu horn, or animal, African kudu, and it's what the Abarim used, the original ancient Israelites, for it's a blast for Samacha, for gladness, for the feast. But all that is reflective of, it's also a call for repentance, for those going astray, gladness for the righteous, but destruction for the wicked, the rebels who are disobeying his commands, And I said it like that, like Stokes, something like that. And he knew what I meant, because I was like, and he was kind of like, oh, that's as much as I'm going to mimic. Give me, it's kind of like, oh, and he's like, well, thank you for sharing that. And I was like, thank you for asking, and I know he regretted he asked, he probably is like, probably thinking twice now, like he's going to think twice before he asks somebody about anything. But, and I told him, my last words to him was like, hey, you got your word for the day though, and he didn't like that. He's like, thank you, because he asked, and ended up backfiring. It ended up being a message of repentance, basically, and he did not like that. But I trust he did. Maybe he was ready for it. I always feel like Yahuwah does not, give us a message, something that we're not ready to respond to some kind of way, right way. And of course, the right way to respond to a message of repentance is to repent, to actually realize, you know what, I'm over this, I'm ready to be straight. And I once said this before, Malak laughing at me because she knows what I'm about to say. She already heard what I said before I said in my mind. It's crazy. How you doing? Yeah, that should be straight. But I was gonna say, like, because I'm gonna play to their I'm gonna play to their benefit. I would say I would discern the spirits, and I'd be like, you know what? I actually recognize the spirit of like homosexuality. It's a very familiar spirit, and I was like, you know what I feel in it is that very thing that I used to have when I was young, growing up with like my best friends in like elementary, middle school, high school, and it's brotherly love. I feel like, man, they got a deep connection, that deep sense of brotherly love coded with it. So it's like, I used to talk about how, like, sometimes you got to go in the caves to get the treasure out, like, all the precious stones and crystals are hidden in dark caves, They say that rattlesnake venom actually has healing properties for diseases and whatnot. So sometimes in the midst of the dark things, there's some righteousness, something right in there. And what I found in the midst of the homosexual spirit is actually that's where the brotherly love was hidden from the world. Like the enemy hid it there. So like for the average, masculine men in the world, they're kind of brutish. They're kind of like too prideful, like their stuff don't stink, or I don't know what, kind of cold. And I found in the homosexual community they have a lot of brotherly love. And what I'm thinking, the way it got twisted by the enemy is it's actually is brotherly love, but the enemy perverted that brotherly love and just found a way to twist it on us. Because I think maybe like brotherly love started to get painted as weak in mainstream society. Where if you're too friendly and lovey, then you must be weak and soft. And instead of giving up that weak and soft and succumbing to being hard like the world wants you to be, well, hey, this homosexual culture allows you to be that way, lets you stay in that brotherly love, but then with that kind of hook, that little thing in there, that gimmick. And I think that's what kind of connected and made it like, well, maybe that's why I'm this way. I'm just homosexual. I'm just gay. Like, no, man, you're not gay. You just got deceived by the devil, bro. You just got brotherly love, and then the devil made you feel like brotherly love is a homosexual trait. Does that make sense? I'm saying loud so we can hear. I want them to understand. That's how the devil deceived the world. Is like made them feel like because they got brotherly love, it's a homosexual trait, but it's not. Brotherly love is brotherly love. The devil lied, twisted and deceived the world by making it like if you got brotherly love, you must be weak, you must be soft, you must be homosexual. No, brotherly love is brotherly love, and it's supposed to be masculine. So they perverted, the devil perverted the brotherly love and made it like a homosexual identity characteristic. No, brotherly love's always supposed to be masculine. Terminator was supposed to look after John Connor, not because he was programmed to, but because of brotherly love. So they make it seem like it's a robotic programming to be that way. But all that to say that, if they can understand that, what was done to them, then they can come out of it. Like, hey, there's nothing wrong with being heterosexual, being straight, being masculine, and having that same kind of brotherly love. It doesn't make you homosexual. They can still have brotherly love and not be homosexual. But it's just that the world culture is the one that impressed them into that posing. Like, you're either going to have to get hard, but if you want to be soft, you're going to have to be homosexual. That's what that is. It's a homosexual trait. No, that's just the Satan deceiving the world, putting everybody in a box. I fortunately was, strong enough or thankful or just looked after. I always kept my mind on Yahuwah and analyzed those kind of things. I understood. I was just strong. I just chose to be strong. Praise Yah. And I said, man, I don't care how deceiving the devil is. I'm not giving up brotherly love, even, at the expense or compromising to be homosexual. Like, I can still hug men all day and not be gay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let that stir in my mind, because I understood, like the Bible, it says when Yahusha, when the people used to like greet, they used to hug and kiss each other. Men used to kiss each other on the cheek. That used to be brotherly love. But now they desensitize brotherly love so much that if you even are curious about it, the enemy gives you a coded homosexual charge about it. Oh, well, that's just being bi-curious, and that's why you have brotherly love. You get what I'm saying? So that's what that is all about. But nonetheless, it's just brotherly love perverted at Satan's finest, with all those dynamics. So brutes were just bullies, that the Satan, that the enemy used to project what a man's supposed to be. It's just a freaking lie, like all that extra brutish, bullyish masculinity. That's just Satan using bullies to project what heterosexual men look like. No, that's a lie. Men were supposed to be brotherly love, kissing each other on the cheek, beard, and there was nothing gay about it, nothing homosexual about it. That's supposed to be what a man was, dying for each other kind of stuff in the battlefield or in the home, in the garden, in the field. I don't know. Dawood and Jonathan, they weren't gay. They just had brotherly love. They use that out here. That's like that's their doctrine. That's their boom front page cover of the doctrine is King David and Jonathan were gay and they were lovers. No, they weren't. That's just what brotherly love's supposed to look like. And they paint it to make it look like that's gay, and that's it does fit that narrative, but it's not gay because this world paints that men brotherly love is like hitting you on the arm and saying all these weird like jokes, like putting you down is supposed to be brotherly love today, like making fun of you and putting you down. I'm just messing with you. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't kick your butt. I wouldn't put you down and make you insecure if I didn't care. But like, what? That's a perverted twist on what friendship is, and they call that masculinity. So the tender-hearted people that don't subscribe to that, I don't like that. I don't want people putting me down. It's supposed to be my friend. Tender-hearted people that rather just want soft and meek friendships treated right. Well, they find homosexuality provides an avenue where they can be treated kind and all that, friendly, only through the avenue of like, hey, but you might be homosexual is probably why you feel soft and tender and kind and want to be treated kindly, and you got the extra brotherly love. It's probably because you're bisexual. And that's how Satan messes with their head. It's like, no, bro, you're not bisexual. You just have natural brotherly love that Satan perverted and made you think that, oh, bi-curious, maybe that's a homosexual trait. No, you're not homosexual, man. You just got deceived by the devil and you bought into that lie. And then there's the demonic spirits that we put on, right? Because they come in different spirits and a guise, and you put it on, it puts on that projection, the personality. Street people in the streets in the hood, they got a demonic spirit. That's the street spirit, You got the Jezebel spirit, you got this spirit, the Richie, greed, gain spirit, that spirit. Then you got the homosexual spirit. They're just spirits. But then when you buy into the thought, you buy into that spirit becomes a part of you, like the mask, it just takes over. It's just the truth. So I think we're setting up, but I gotta get back. Got up 5:46, got 15 minutes. I wanted to buy something to eat. Let me go buy something to eat. I'm not focusing. I've been missing my worldly cues because my Ruach will cues. Yesterday I forgot to go in to do my little drug test thing where they breathalyze you every day, just about, if you're new. And I've been there a month. They still keep breathalyzing me just about every day. No, I've been there going on 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks, almost a month, about a month. Anyways, yeah, I forgot to check in for that, and so they wrote me up. I finally got written up, but praise yeah, because I was writing a very Ruachly inspired post last night. On the other end of that, when I should have checked in, so that's who would let me know I was supposed to get written up. That's supposed to happen because I was inspired in the Ruach at that time. So lets me know that maybe I'm about to get on my way out, and I'm just passing through. But nonetheless, just wanted to go back and reiterate on like, you're supposed to be a terror like Masha, bringing the thick clouds and thick darkness and the gloom and the dread. Yahuwah backing you up in the Ruach in many ways. And you just uphold Torah, keep it, be stoic about it, but don't be scared to share it. You ain't got to smile and give emotional, all that, like what Shad was saying, be a Gentile to the Gentile, be as they are, be a world to the world. Don't listen to Shad. He's from the tribe of Benjamin. That's what wolves do. the wolf is a Gentile. They're gonna act and put on a mask. That he was speaking from his Benjamin Wolf thing. They wolf in sheep's clothing. They divide the spoil. Shad was not 100%. I don't trust him. Too many confusing things about what he said, and Scripture says that Satan is the author of confusion. That there's no confusion with Yahuwah. He doesn't change up like that. So don't subscribe to Shah like that. Don't be a Gentile to the Gentile. Be an Israelite to the world. The Yasharali, Kurashim, a righteous elect. You gotta be Noah. You gotta be Enoch. You gotta be Masha. You gotta be Yahusha. Turn the tables. That's it. That's kindness. That's love right there. Because righteous love is gonna tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. It says, "Trustworthy are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." Like when someone, they just don't want to tell you the truth because they supposedly love you, but then them not telling you leads to your demise. They just didn't want to hurt your feelings. That ain't love. Love's gonna tell you the truth, whether you don't like it or not, because that might get the right response you need to do better. So the word of Yah is what y'all need to do. Keep the commandments. What I'm saying? The Sabbath is on the 7th day. Keep the feast days. No pork and no shrimp. And definitely no homosexuality, no LGBT. Because I love you. I'm telling you the truth. You already know how the rest goes because I'm sure y'all heard it a lot growing up. But still the same message, still the same truth. 2 + 2 = 4 is never going to change. I just tell you like that. 2 + 2 = 4 is always an absolute mathematical equation, just as the commandments is. I love you. You know the rest. You know what I'm getting at. I'm not the type to do all that. I'm going to share the truth. I shared it. That's love. Treat you like I would my own children. I would talk to them hard like that, and that's about it. I'm not going to go into more because I love you, and I want you to respond. How. Just praise Yah. I've been job for a while. I got to go. You got to be Masha. You got to be Yahusha. You got to be 2 witnesses. Terrorize the world because of the sake of the truth, sharing the truth. And it brings Yahuwah backing it up with his darkness and gloom, his pandemics. That's now. Y'all should be doing that. If y'all ain't doing what I'm doing, you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it will favor you, should keep you. And I'll bring the darkness and gloom. If you're getting all this sunshine and unicorns and rainbows, you're not doing something right. You might be getting afflicted. You got to eat right. You already know what to do. You got this. So it will be with you, should keep you, and you shall Mashiach. Amen. Shalom.